This may be the first known North American example of portable prehistoric art depicting a specific place in 3 dimensions. Because once you say that plainly, everything changes. This is no longer just a small carved object. It is no longer just an artifact to be cataloged, minimized, or explained away. It becomes something much harder to avoid. It becomes physical proof, material proof, that Indigenous peoples' connection to land was not abstract, not sentimental, not a modern slogan, but real, specific, intimate, and old beyond reckoning. You could put this carving in the hand of a 6-year-old and explain it more honestly than many institutions have explained it to the public. You could say, this is a place. This place mattered so much that someone made it, carried it, marked it, and remembered it thousands upon thousands of years ago. That is how deep the bond was. That is how real it was. That is how seriously land was known, held, and honored. And then there is the ochre. Would anyone really be surprised that it is painted in ochre, one of the oldest and most enduring colors of ceremony, spirit, and sacred meaning in human history? Of course not. Not when the evidence on the mountain itself is so repeated, so deliberate, and so ceremonially dense. The carving and the mountain belong together, and taken together, they do not weaken the spiritual reading. They strengthen it. And this is where the excuse-making ends, because this is not one object standing alone. This is not one theory floating without support. This is not one person's interpretation asking to be trusted. There is the map, and every point on that map opens the record itself. Not a summary, not a paraphrase, not a second-hand description. The document, the notice, the source. Click any point on the map below and read it for yourself. At that point, the argument changes. The question is no longer whether the evidence exists. The question is whether those in authority are willing to confront what the evidence already shows. Because the record is there. Ochre, Paleo-Indian sites, Nagpra notices, institutional contradictions, and the wider pattern surrounding all of them. This is not isolated. It is not accidental. It is not too uncertain to address. It is already documented. And that is why the silence matters. Because institutions are always comfortable with the language of inclusivity, Indigenous voices, and land acknowledgement. But words are easy. Performance is easy. What is hard is telling the truth when the evidence demands more than performance. What is hard is admitting that this carving may preserve, in the palm of a hand, one of the clearest material statements ever found in North America about what land meant, and still means, to Indigenous people. That is why this matters. This is not just an object. This is not just interpretation. This is evidence. They cannot dispute their own documents. They have the acknowledgement. We have the evidence.